This is the plaintiff, Joy Asante. She says she rented a room in the defendant's apartment, and let's just say it became immediately apparent there were going to be bathroom usage problems. One of the bathrooms housed their large, smelly cat, and they wouldn't allow her to use the other bathroom unless she was showering. She felt like she was being treated unfairly, moved out, and is now suing for the $3,262.61 she's owed in rent. These are the defendants, Maria and Ira. They say the plaintiff consistently monopolized their private bathroom for 90 minutes at a time. They had to put a 30-minute limit on the use of that bathroom, but the plaintiff refused to comply. Besides, she had full use of the other bathroom at all times, and they don't owe the plaintiff a penny of the amount she's suing them for. They're accused of not potty training their tenant properly.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket, the plaintiff rented from the defendants, and among the problems, big bathroom problems. The defendant says the plaintiff was a bathroom hog. It's the case of the smell ain't swell.
Okay, Joy Asante?
Yes.
You are suing Maria and Ira. You've asked me to be referred to just as Maria and Ira, your former landlords, for $3,262.61 in refunds that you want because according to you, they made it unlivable by their rules and regulations.
Correct.
Tell me what happened.
I found the room on Craigslist. I spoke to Maria. I agreed to meet her.
So you meet her, you see the place, you like it, and what kind of arrangement do you strike with her?
I arranged to move in October 1st, 2011.
And is it a year-long lease, a 6-month lease, month-to-month? What is it?
The term was up to me, according to her.
Okay, so did you sign anything?
Yes.
Okay, let me see what you signed. All right, so you move in October, and does it go well for a while?
It goes well until March of 2012. I don't have a personal computer in the room, so I started noticing middle of March that they were sending me emails on Saturday when I was in the apartment and don't have access to a computer.
Okay.
They were complaining about the bathroom.
Okay, it just says 140. It doesn't say every what. So I assume that was 140 a week?
That was weekly.
Okay. And then you had to give 7 days notice. So really this is like a week-to-week tenancy. Okay.
Correct.
So they start sending you emails, which is odd because they're a few feet away.
Exactly.
What are we talking about here? Is this a home that you live in? Is this an apartment?
It's an apartment we live in, yes.
Okay, do you lease it or do you own it?
We lease it.
Okay, so you lease it and then you're subleasing a room
Yes.
to her?
Yes.
Do you have authority to do that from your landlord?
My wife had been doing it before we got married. Recently, I looked at the original lease and saw, no, we shouldn't be doing this. So we're in the process of emptying the apartment.
Okay. All right. Now, what went wrong? They sent you an email saying what to you?
They sent me an email saying now that there are 5 people living in the apartment.
Oh, goodness. How many bedrooms are in this place?
3.
Okay. So they tell you now that there's 5 people living here.
Right. There was a limitation placed on using the bathroom that had the shower.
Okay. Now there's 2 bathrooms, but only one of them has a shower?
Only one has a shower.
So everybody has to share the same shower?
Yes.
Okay.
Only one has a shower, and when I was shown the space, they had a large cat that they were littering in the second bathroom. So it really was.
What do you mean they were littering? You
They
mean the
had
cat's litter was in
cat
there?
litter, so that it would emit the stench of the cat.
So nobody was using the cat was using that
cat was
bathroom.
using
Nobody
that
else was
bathroom.
using that bathroom?
Yes, everybody was using it.
Except her.
Yes, and we never heard any complaints about the cat litter from anybody, including the plaintiff.
All right. So go on. They tell you what?
That I have to start using the bathroom that they have the cat in with the cat feces and the cat urine.
And you say?
I tried to use that room as much as I could, but it was I felt like I knew for sure I shouldn't be subjected to those kinds of conditions.
So did you say something? Or
tried.
did you just go along to get along?
I went along to get along.
Okay. And so this happens when?
This happened March 20.
But you didn't move out until when?
I still haven't moved out.
Are you kidding me? You're still living there?
Yes.
I don't know that I've ever had a plaintiff and a defendant that were naked in the same shower together in front of me. You're still living there?
Yes.
And why haven't you evicted her?
We're in the process of doing that now. She's been served with a notice of termination.
So why haven't you left? You have a week to week.
I've been looking for another space. I didn't realize that they were in the process of trying to remove me.
In August, they tell you, we're changing the terms. How are they changing the terms?
They were increasing the rent and they were limiting the term to a 6-month period.
Okay, so why didn't you leave?
I started looking for space, and then in October we had the hurricane, so it sort of put a stymie on my ability to go out and look for space.
I guess I'm kind of lost though, because I'm not sure what you're asking. You have a week-to-week tenancy. You can leave at any time. Normally, when I have a litigant who says to me, I want out of this lease, they're telling me I want out of this lease because they have some legal obligation to stay there. You can just get up and go. Every 7 days you could get up and go. And you don't. So why should I look at all the rent you've paid for the last year and say you're entitled to it back when you chose not to leave there? In other words, you need to persuade a judge that it was unlivable for you to get money back. And the best evidence that it's livable is that you continue to live there when you don't have to.
Well, what was unlivable were the conditions for the bathroom.
So if the tenant stays in the unit but complains and then at the end says, I want my rent back, does the tenant get the rent back?
No,
Why?
because he stayed in unlivable conditions.
Well, but suppose they're unlivable. If they are unlivable, can the landlord really get rent?
I would say the tenant should get their money back
Because?
because it's unlivable condition.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Going inside the courtroom.
What was it you told her about the bathroom?
We told her that it came to our attention that she was consistently using the shower for an hour and a half.
What are you doing in there? The shower, not a bath. The shower, an hour and a half?
Yes, we can hear the shower because the bathroom is right on the other side of the wall from our bedroom. We hear the tub. We hear when it starts. We hear when it stops.
Were you taking an hour and a half?
I would take a long shower on the weekend because I
don't even want to stand that long. Like
I didn't really have access to do it during the week.
Okay, what else was she doing? What else was the problem?
The plaintiff was living with us, obviously, for several months, but she had an early schedule at work, we assumed, by her comings and goings. So she'd be showering like 4 or 5 in the morning. By March of 2012, it became clear to us that she was in there consistently for an hour and a half at a time.
So why don't you just talk to her instead of sending her an email?
Because by that time there was ill will.
Okay.
Prior to then, there was an instance where she stained our bathroom with her hair dye. We let her know that she needed to clean it. She did not clean it, which we took as a refusal. And my wife had to get on her knees and scrub it many times to get it out.
Okay.
Then a second time, the bathroom was stained with her hair dye. Same scenario. We asked her to clean it. She refused. And again, my wife had to spend time scrubbing it out. We were just not enjoying her tenancy.
Right. Why don't you just get rid of her then, since she has a week to week? Why didn't you just tell her you need to leave? Why doesn't anybody speak?
Well, first of all, we didn't realize, because of the way that the lease was, from a date to a date a year later, we didn't understand that.
What lease are you looking at? Because the lease I'm looking at doesn't have an end date, and it just says 7 days notice. Let me see if you're looking at something different. So Miss Asante, they make you take half-hour showers because you're sharing it with other people. And what other horrible conditions did they subject you to?
The cat in the bathroom.
Okay, because they told you that they wanted you to use that bathroom. And now eventually you got rid of the cat?
Correct.
Well, it's my son's.
Oh, okay, so he just took it. It's not that you got rid of the cat, it's that, oh yeah, see, yours has an end date, hers doesn't. All right, guys. All right, so now let me ask you a question. So the cat leaves sometime in the summer, and it's January and you're still there. So obviously, what is it you're suing for after the cat leaves?
They discontinued the cable, which was part of the original agreement.
And you agreed to pay $5 less, right?
I did that until October.
And then what happened?
In October, they said they were raising the rent, and I just gave them the full amount.
Why don't you just leave?
October is when we had
October's when you had your 1 year
Sandy.
anniversary there. Right.
And so it became difficult.
Yeah, I understand. Here's the part you don't understand, Ms. Asante. Let me explain to you how it works in the law. When you're a plaintiff, you're coming in here and you're saying, someone has done me wrong. Someone had an obligation to do something, didn't do it the way the law requires them to, and I have damages because of their abrogation of their duty. What exactly is the duty that you're accusing them of abrogating? What did they do? They raised your rent, which you have a perfect right to do. They could have done it sooner and they didn't. They had a cat, which you knew. You could have moved out if you didn't like it, because you could move out every 7 days and you didn't. They cut the cable. They told everybody because of the economic times we can't afford cable. And they offered to take $5 off of your rent, which you took advantage of. Well, either way, you started paying $5 less, and you could have left if you didn't like it, because you're not handcuffed there. You can go. You're on a week-to-week tenancy. So just under what legal theory do you think I'm going to look at them and say, pay this lady $3,000? What theory? You want to know what like unlivable conditions are? The electricity's cut off. There's no heat. There's bugs everywhere. Things like that. You're telling me about your shower has been reduced from an hour and a half to half an hour, and you want them to pay you $3,000? You got to spend a weekend at my house. No. Verdict for the defendants. I don't understand how it's taking this long for you to evict somebody on a week-to-week tenancy. But get your act together and do what you're supposed to do.
Yes, sir.
All right? Good luck, folks.
The plaintiff, unable to collect on her lawsuit here, step right next to me and tell me what's your comment?
Very disappointing.
Yeah. Well, why didn't you leave if it was so bad as you described? Why did you stay?
Because you can't find rooms as readily as one needs.
You can't find another room in the Bronx anywhere?
Well, I'll have to start looking more readily.
Yeah. You sure you're not a professional renter who tried to stretch it out for as long as she could?
Absolutely not.
No? All right.
Ma'am, can we work this way, please?
All right, so step on in here and come on in here. Why are you shaking your head?
That woman's elevator does not go all the way to the top. She's very unstable, and maybe she takes medication. I don't know what her problem is.
What was the worst thing that happened? What was the worst bathroom confrontation? How bad did it get?
How much time do you have?
Just 10 seconds.
She wanted to call the police because I was in the bathroom. That's how drastic it got.
She came home one night, and my wife was in the bathroom, and she pounded on the door and said, I need to use this bathroom. I need to shower.
Right.
If you're not out right away, I'm calling the cops.
So what'd you do?
I said, you have to wait.
Harvey?
There's an implied condition in almost every lease that a unit be free of health or safety hazards.